Hi guys. Okay, today's a big day because tonight I have a meeting with 5 different agents and I am so excited. But first, school. I am walking right now to my first class. I have a quiz and honestly I do not know about passing it or what. It's so hot. I'm wearing shorts today. I just realized my entire outfit is from Urban. I used to work there, represent. I'm wearing the summeriest lipstick ever. It's Jeffree Star Watermelon Soda. I love this so much, but honestly, I shouldn't be wearing it. I should have a dark fall look today, but it's like 100 degrees. Not really. It's actually kind of nice right now. That's because it's early in the morning. I know that it's going to be a sweltering hell pretty soon because that's what's been happening past few days. It's really annoying. Hi guys. Okay, I'm here. I actually thought that I might be late because the first parking garage that I made my reservation at was like, hey, we're full, and I was like, well, I have a reservation though, so there's a space like reserved for me, and they were like, no girl. So hopefully I can get a refund for that. But anyways, I found an actually really great one on 52nd Street that I think I'm gonna go to again because they were super nice and it was so easy and there was no oversized fee because I have an SUV, so I usually have to pay a little bit more than everybody else for parking. And I'm too afraid to park it on the street. It's my baby, and if anything happens to it, I'll die. I'm feeling really ready and excited for the meeting. My goal is to get one meeting with an agent, like after this meeting, another meeting, like a private meeting at the agency, so that I could possibly get signed. That's my goal, just one of them out of 4. I thought there was gonna be 5, but there's 4 agents and 1 casting director. So I have a 1 in 4 shot. I mean, I could technically get asked, you know, to meet with all of them, which would be wonderful, but that's not gonna happen. So I'm hoping for 1 out of 4. So keep your fingers crossed for me. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm almost there. Oh my God, I am freaking out. It was so good. I cannot believe how good it went because I was so nervous that I thought I was gonna die. Agents are kind of that mountain that I haven't climbed yet, you know, like every time I start trying to find an agent, I just get beaten down a million times and then I kind of give up and focus on something else, like maybe I'm doing a show at the time or something and I just am at rehearsal every night and I just am like, oh, I can cut back on the agent meetings, I'm busy right now, I've booked something, you know what I mean? And they were all so nice and so complimentary, and we got to watch everybody that was at the meeting, we got to watch their scene that they did and hear all their feedback from the agents. So like, you know, you're not supposed to compare yourself to others, but basically if I had to, like mine went, if not the best, it definitely went like one of the best out of all of them. And you get these sheets of feedback that they just gave to me, and my feedback on them was really good too. I don't think any of them are going to necessarily like call me for a meeting and maybe want to sign me. Like I didn't get that vibe, unfortunately, but they seemed really like they thought it was really good. And I felt like I hadn't had enough time to work with the material because it was only like a few days that I had to prepare. So this is gonna sound silly. Well, no, actually it's not gonna sound silly because I've been working really hard, but I actually got tears in my eyes when it was done because I was so afraid I was gonna forget a line or mess up, even though I knew the scene, but I was still afraid of that. I just had a feeling that I was gonna blank or something, and it was a comedic scene and they laughed. I don't know, you guys, I need some time to process, and then I'm gonna come back and kind of give like a final review of what happened and a goodbye. Okay. Hey guys. Okay, so it's been a few days since the agent meeting and I wanted to come on here and just give a summary of what happened. And I learned so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I feel like meeting with legit agents is really what I have to focus my time and attention on, which I already knew, but it just kind of hammered it in even more because it went so well. I feel so much more equipped to like go out into the world because let me tell you something, this business is intimidating. I've been auditioning since I was 7 years old, and even so, like I still, you know, I was really nervous at this meeting, and I don't get nervous. My whole life, like every time a performer would be standing next to me, we were about to go on stage, they're like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, why? We get to do what we love. We're about to get on stage. This is my favorite thing in the world. I'm so freaking excited. Like, I just don't get nervous. But For this, I really was, because they're big time people. Like, these are the people that cast, you know, major television shows, movies. You know, one of the casting directors cast for Woody Allen and Louis C.K. It's like, you know, it's a big deal. And I'm thinking, like, what if they're just like, this girl's not ready for this, or like, I would never sign this girl, you know what I mean? I think because I have never had a legit agent before, I haven't passed that hurdle yet. It always kind of seems like I'm gonna walk into the room and everyone's gonna be like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. I've done so much in my career, but I've never had a legit agent, which is film, TV, and theater. I'm really tired of doing all the extra stuff that I do, like, you know, all the work that's just random commercials, industrials, you know, whatever. And I really want to focus on legit work. I mean, that is my dream. I've been trying to find an agent this most recent time since like May. So it's now October if you're watching this sometime in the future, and it's been a long time. Of course, I did spend a lot of time in the summer out of town. So basically what this meeting was is there's 4 agents and 1 casting director. You need to have a scene prepared ahead of time to do in front of these agents, and there's a reader with you who is going to play the other character in the scene that you're doing. The first option is that you can pick your own scene as long as it's TV and film. You have to submit it ahead of time so they can approve it, just to make sure the scene like works in that kind of setting. The other option is that based on what you put out there in the world, you know, via your resume, headshot, your website if you have one, which you should have one. If you're trying to make it as an actor and you don't have your own website with tons of photos, information, video clips, you're not doing it right and you're not going to get anywhere. Just take my advice. Make a website right now. Anyways, so based on what you put out there, they pick a scene for you based on all these scenes that they have in their arsenal. Now, in addition to that, you can just look through all of the scenes that they have and pick your own. So what I chose to do is I said, you guys pick my scene based on what you think, because when you go into an audition, you don't get to pick the scene that you do. You know what I mean? I was also just really curious as to what they would pick for me, just looking at what I put out there, and they sent me a bunch of scenes to choose from, so I still had to choose. But the first scene they sent me was from 30 Rock, which in my opinion is one of the best comedies of all time. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, so I was really flattered. I was like, okay, they get me. Like, this is really cool. But I didn't choose that, and I didn't choose another scene that they had offered, which was from Orange is the New Black. In my opinion, if you do get to choose your material, you should never choose something that's too familiar. So I actually chose a scene from a show that was canceled after like 6 episodes, which I know that you are probably thinking, why would you pick a scene from a crappy show? The scene itself was good, and it showed off comedic timing, which is something that I really care about and I really want to do well. So what happens at meetings like this is you go into the room, you sit down, and in front of you there's like a table of you know, like a panelist table where all the agents are going to be sitting. But first they come into the room and they sit in front of you in these director's chairs, and there's a Q&A session. I was learning a lot, but the thing that was really comforting is that most of the stuff they were saying I already know, and I already execute that knowledge. Like, I didn't feel like, oh my god, I'm learning so much. It was like, yeah, what they're saying is correct. Like, I'm on the right track because all the advice they're giving is stuff that I know. But some of the more specific questions that were more detailed, I was, you know, learning a lot. I brought up the video series that I've done with Rachel, RCL Beauty 101, where I play Harley Quinn, because those videos have a combined like almost 50 million views. That's huge, you know what I mean? There's a lot of movies and TV shows that don't get seen by 50 million people. And more as time goes on, you know, internet stuff is becoming much more relevant and much more legit, so to speak. So I really wanted to know, how can I, you know, purvey that success into getting an agent and getting legit work? So I asked them about that, and they all paused for a few seconds, like they didn't know what to say. And then they basically just told me like, well, you know, you need to find a legit agent and you need somebody to send you out on those jobs. And I was like, I know that. That's why I'm here. Like, that's really all you have to say. And I was like no offense to them or anything, but I was just like, oh my god, like, I'm not gonna get anywhere in this freaking meeting if that's all they have to say. Like, obviously I know that I need an agent. That's why I'm here talking to you people. I'm trying to get an agent. So then we started, and there were a lot of actors in the room. Normally everybody leaves the room and then they call you in one by one, but for this one we all got to see everybody's performance. And the first girl that went, I thought she was really, really good, but they still had her do it again. They still gave her notes and had her, you know, do her scene over again. And I was one of the last people to go, so I sat through everybody's, and when I say sat through, I don't mean that it was bad, I just mean like, you know, you want to go so badly, you just want to get yours over with, and I started to get really nervous. I started to think I was going to totally blank and forget my lines, which nobody was doing, because when you get this kind of opportunity, you're not going to screw it up by not knowing your lines. And I was like just thinking that I was going to blank or something, and I was going through it in my head over and over and over again. And I just started to doubt myself. I was like, man, I should have chose my own scene. I should have, you know, spent all weekend researching and picked my own amazing scene that shows off, you know, my chops. Oh, I should pick a scene where I'm crying. I should have picked a dramatic scene. I should have. Started doubting myself. That to me is just noise. That's noise in your head. It's BS. You should never listen to it. You just have to keep going and do your best, right? And not listen to that. So we also got to hear all of the agents' critiques that they were giving the actors. So most of the people, they had them do their scene, and then they would give them notes, and then they had to do their scene again. And I would say almost all the actors were super charactery. Like, there was the nerdy guy, there was the mafioso boss, there was the, like, drugged out girl. Like, they were all really cliches, and I felt like my character was more just like a normal girl that, you know, is trying to make it in the world and trying to find a guy to date, and it's not so easy, and she's being hit on by this jerk, and she just dismisses him, and then she talks to her girlfriend about, you know, what she really wants. And so it was my turn, and I brought up props. I had my bag and I had my phone, because the scene starts with like me texting, like really focused on my phone. And I did my scene, and oh my god, it went so well. I didn't think I did it that well, and this was an on-camera meeting, so I have the scene. They gave me such good feedback, especially compared to everybody else. Like, they just kept kind of like throwing their hands up, because it seemed like they were just saying, you did this right. Like, we don't have many notes because you did a great job. So one of the things that I noticed is after they saw me do my scene, and then they knew I could act, and they knew I was worth spending time on, after that they were like, looking at my resume, and they're like, hey, they're like, this thing that got 50 million views, that needs to be at the top of your resume. You need to have a section that says web, because I had it under film, because usually even if you do a short film, like, it goes under film. I should probably say, if you don't know acting resumes, they're split up by like film, TV, theater, blah blah blah. They're like, you need a section at the top that says web, and you need to put that that you have 50 million views on this. And I was always like wanting to do that, but I thought it was kind of awkward, like, how do you put that like in parentheses or whatever? And I actually asked them that, like, I was very specific, and they were like, put it in asterisks, because that's what people do when they win awards. So if somebody wins, you know, a Golden Globe or whatever, it says Golden Globe Award winning role or whatever. So I changed that the very next day. I went and edited my resume, and now it's at the very top of my resume, so hopefully that will help out some. Other thing that they did give me, which was constructive criticism, which is really good, is that I had all handed them a headshot, which is like a big smiley happy picture of me. I like to use this one because I look super young in it, and, you know, I want to play as young as I can for as long as I can, because, you know, I'm only going to get older, right? Like I can no longer play 12 years old, but there was a time when I could, and you hang on to that time as long as you can, so you have the widest range of roles available to you, right? They said that it was a great picture, and it was a great headshot, and that it really captured my personality, which is nice, because I guess they thought I was really nice and bubbly, like, young girl. But they were like, we can't send this out for theatrical work. I have a lot of really nice serious pictures. I use one, you know, very often. I just didn't have it printed. So from now on, I'm always going to bring the more serious picture to an audition, unless it is a commercial audition. Even though I do want to get away from that, you know, I will still bring the smiley headshot to those auditions, because they said it's very commercial. One of the first things they mentioned was the comedic timing, which, if you remember, I picked that scene specifically because I thought it would show off my comedic timing, and they mentioned that right away. They brought that up, so I was so happy because that is exactly what I wanted to convey. I have comedic timing. I can do a comedic scene awesomely. I could be the star of a sitcom. I really could. So I wanted them to pick up on that, and they did. The other thing they said was that I could go even bigger with the comedy, like I could be zanier, and you know, that's a critique I keep getting. If you watched my videos on the 12th night audition, like I keep getting that, like you need to be bigger, you need to be more dramatic. I need to get used to that because I like more subtle acting and subtle performances, but that was really the only thing that they said about my acting that was bad. Everything else they said was so amazing, complimentary, and these are the big guns. Another great moment was when one of the agents was like, oh my god, your eyes are gorgeous. I cannot stop staring at your eyes on screen. And it was just so, like, awesome because all the other agents were like, oh yes, like they all like started commenting on how beautiful I look on screen, which, like I said, I didn't think that I looked good when I watched it back, but apparently I'm a bad judge of myself, which I already knew that. But so they were just complimentary of so many aspects of what I did, everything from the look to the tone to the comedic timing to the scene itself, everything. It was just, they were just like, yeah, 2 thumbs up. Their feedback was invaluable. It's really what I needed at this time. And now I feel so much less afraid of meeting with agents. I feel like I got their approval, and the way that they spoke to me like a real actress, whereas I feel like when I was younger and I would meet with agents, or even as much as a few months ago in the summer I had an agent meeting, and I felt like he was kind of talking to me in a way almost condescendingly, like, you're really good, you definitely have something, just keep going, keep trying. Like, it was more of a, you'll get there someday, and I felt like these agents were talking to me more in a way that was like, you're great, like, you're an actress, like, you're gonna be able to do this, like, this is what you do for a living, this is your life, and you're not gonna have a problem. So, oh, thank you God. It really was amazing, and I smile every time I think about it. I've just been waiting my whole life to have a meeting like the one I just had, and I'm just praying so hard that somebody somewhere is gonna see me and see me perform and think, I need to have her, she's going places, she's gonna make me money. I forgot to show you, so all the agents and the casting director, they fill out this form about you, and I got almost perfect, like, marks on everything. It's like, it's amazing, like, how well I did because I was so nervous, but I somehow pulled it off. So my favorite one is this one where I literally got perfect marks on everything. So this was from the casting director. This is the one who works with Woody Allen and, you know, makes these huge movies that go on to win Oscars and stuff like that. The first section is presentation and appearance. Did they have appropriate clothing, hair, makeup, posture, and presence? I got appropriate. Scene. Does it need more familiarity or specificity? Was it good or was it excellent? She circled excellent. You know, no big deal. Headshot. Is it good quality? Is it eye-catching? Is it poor quality? Does it represent me well? Could it be updated? Does it look like me? Does it capture my personality? Basically, she circled all the good things and didn't circle any of the bad things. Was the resume clear and easy to read? Yes. And then overall rating, is it okay, good, very good, or excellent? I got excellent! Yay! Actually, the only excellent I got, which is sad, I wish I got more, but everybody else gave me a very good, which is like right under excellent. Hopefully I'll get signed, guys. Ugh. Either way, it's just a good connection to have, because sometimes you meet with other agents or you meet with casting directors and they ask you if you have a good relationship with anybody in the business. And now I can say, oh, I recently met with Nicole Wachinski and she gave me some really awesome feedback and seemed to really like my performance, you know, things like that. The other thing that's part of the meeting is that you get the contact info of all the agents. So what a lot of agents will say to you if they're not going to sign with you on the spot or something is they say, you know, email me or snail mail me in a couple months when you've done something that you want to show off. So, you know, for instance, I'm going to be on A Crime to Remember soon. They still didn't release the release date of when my episode is airing, but like I said in a past video, I have a whole scene, I have a real character. It's an actual part on television that I shot in June. So, I'm so excited about that because, you know, if none of these agents contact me and I don't sign with anybody before that airs, I could use this contact info. Basically what they want you to do is when you have something to show off, email them and say, hey, I met with you a couple months ago, you gave me really great feedback, I remember I did this, blah, blah, blah. Now I have this part on television and I'd really love if you could watch it, it's coming on at this time. I don't know if I'm going to do that because these people have busy lives, they might not you know, be able to just turn it on when it airs. But maybe after I get the scene that I'm in for my reel, I can send them my new reel and say, hey, I was just on A Crime to Remember, here it is, check it out, hope you enjoy it, and I would love to meet with you if you have any time. So fingers crossed, you guys. I'm really happy with everything that happened, but I'm so ready for more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy that y'all are on this journey with me. I think it's so much fun to make these videos and share stuff with you. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well so you can get a little notification every time I post, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!